Gentlemen, I've done it. I have good news. I have built the greatest list of microcap altcoins for the 2025 bull run that is coming up in existence. Jokes aside, hyperbole out the window. These are coins that if we run here on a bad day are going to do 5, 10, 25x's. Look, even on the past few videos, we've seen some 2 to 3x's, but we don't want that baby shit. You come to this channel for the girth. If you come to this channel for those dirty red light district, low tier OnlyFans girl like coins, this is gonna give it to you. This list is so dirty that even the weird motherfuckers that are watching Bonnie Blue's OnlyFans are gonna see this and go, ugh, this is a little bit too filthy for me. And with this whole World War III thing going on right now, the prices on these are a joke. They are in realistic 5, 10, 15x range. But this news is going to clear any day now, and so are these prices. You probably have a week, very limited time to take position in these coins at these prices. But for real, I want to convey deadly seriousness here, because if you look on chain what's happening, you look at what Shopify, Walmart, and Amazon are doing. You look at what all the banks are building right now, specifically on Ethereum. You look at how Ethereum is moving on chain and what people are doing. We are about to explode. And the only thing that can stop it is literally World War III, which means, holy shit, baby, put your dick in the pencil sharpener. It's never been more lubed up. And luckily for you, my little 5'2", neckbeard waving in the wind retard, I'm gonna be giving you the Chili's coloring book, treasure map, to these coins in this video. This is without exaggeration or hyperbole, the dumbest fucking risk reward profile ever seen since November 2023. And when we did that, it worked out very well for us. We made a lot of money. I think this is better because back then we weren't on the cusp of a super bull run. We are literally inches away from it if just a few obstacles get out of our way. So I'm putting out this video now. We got to get to it now. Let's begin. So look, before we get into these coins, and trust me, we're going to get in these coins. And I know you guys hate this part, but we need to talk about this. This is the most important part. We need to talk about why this pump, I believe, is extremely likely to happen. All the things that we're seeing that are making it as such. And then most importantly, the odds of this happening. What are our chances here of these micro caps flying, and why would they fly in the first place? You need to understand these things. And I need to bring this up right now because as I talk about in this video, you can go read the comments. People are soggy on crypto right now. Now, that's usually the best indicator of when to buy. Look, when the markets are hot and I'm making videos on this channel, people don't give a shit. They don't need any explanation. They don't care if the market's completely overblown. For example, we had meme coins hitting billion-dollar market caps last year within days, and people are like, oh, this is just the start, seems like the beginning. And they would throw money at literally anything. Literally, people were making like scoop coins after my dog, and they were hitting $100 million market caps. Same day. The level of retardation we saw was ridiculous. But right now, whenever I bring up crypto, whenever I even talk about the fact that we could see an alt season on Twitter, it's like I'm going to some chick's funeral and everyone's all sitting around like being soggy and stuff. I'm like, hey, but yeah, you know, remember she really used to give good hand jobs. Like she was fantastic hand jobs, 10 out of 10. And everyone's like, what the? Don't bring up that. And people just want me to be quiet. And so retail right now is soggy as fuck on crypto, which is completely unreasonable. That is the sign it is probably time to buy. Look, when people are all in my comment section shitting on me for saying it's going to go down potentially, when all your friends are getting into crypto, when everybody's talking about crypto and say, oh yeah, you got to get on the meme coins, you got to get in these things, this is where the next pump is going to be. That's when you're likely fucked. It's when people start getting super duper soggy and think crypto's just basically dead. We're not seeing another run. That is when you want to get in. And if you look at the things on chain and everything that's happening in the world right now, it is not just silly to be down on crypto right now. It's absolutely full-blown ape 10-year-old baboon retarded. You take a chimpanzee who is 50 IQ points lower than all the other chimpanzees, like full-blown retard. You put a diaper on him, you spin him around in a circle, you feed him 55 Pop-Tarts so he's just all fat and over-bloated, and then finally you inject him with a tub of glue. That creature right there, that's how retarded it is to be out of crypto right now because of this. So there's something very, very special going on right now. And I'm not going to go through every single tweet confirming this because we got to get into the coins, guys. We got to get into it. It's going to be a long video on that front. But here's what we need to be looking at right now. If you go look at Google searches, you look at people looking in the crypto right now, it is at the lowest of lows. We're at lows that are lower than the bear market. Normal people are not here. Normal interest in crypto isn't just bad right now. It's at near all-time lows while Bitcoin is sitting at 100,000 plus. And more importantly, we need to look at what's going on with Ethereum. For example, this last month, BlackRock just bought nearly $1 billion worth of Ethereum, but that's not just the most important thing. It's just an indicator of what's to come. Usually when you see BlackRock and institutions absolutely mass panic buying an asset and you see retail completely ignoring it, that's usually a sign about what's to come. But more importantly, what we're seeing is the mass adoption of ETH and DeFi. If you look at every single banking institution, they are building something for stablecoins or to use stablecoins. If you look at every major e-commerce platform where normies go and spend all their money, and you and I go and spend all of our money, Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, you combine just those three platforms all together, you're looking at a vast majority of e-commerce sales. They are all building or have already built integrations with Ethereum. You look at every single major brand out there, Apple, PayPal, the list is endless. Like, you cannot find companies that are not building some type of connection with DeFi. Now, here's the big fucking kicker in the room, gentlemen. Here's where it gets very, very nasty and all these pumps are going to come from. All this is being built on DeFi and primarily right now Ethereum. I don't know if Ethereum is going to be the best layer for the rest of the world. That doesn't matter. The most important thing is what's going to happen this run. I don't care what happens with Ethereum in 5 years. We will have dumped, moved to Dubai, and be living on a golden yacht, reviewing our collection of fine exotic woods and riding a tiger from end to end of the boat. That's what we'll be doing then. I don't give a fuck what the price is. We will have dumped it on retirees by then. Your grandmother, she'll be holding all of our ETH. I don't care what the price is then. The Ponzi worked. It will have succeeded. It's fine. But more importantly, what we're about to see is people storing all their wealth on chain, primarily Ethereum. People doing all their daily transactions on chain, primarily probably Ethereum. And every brand they interact with is going to be working with crypto in some fashion. Now, if you look at the ETH ETFs that are going live, staking is very soon to come. So what does this all mean? We are about to see billions of people transacting and storing their money on Ethereum or DeFi chains. That is going to be billions, probably trillions of transactions, all that need to be fueled by the coins like Ethereum, Solana, etc. Making those coins a resource, just like gasoline. Now, with the staking ETFs going live, what people are going to be able to do via their BlackRock funds, via their institutional holdings or whatever, is not just buy Ethereum. They're going to be able to stake it and get passive yield from the asset. This just makes it the trifecta investment for normal investing, because not only can you invest in it like an asset, like gold, something that appreciates in value because it's in demand, it's also like a tech stock because it's undervalued and has those explosive year-over-year returns. Finally, it's like a bond or a cash flowing dividend stock because you'll be able to stake it. This is the greatest good old traditional investing asset that's ever going to appear in the next decade. It is too damn good. You combine that with the demand of normal people needing it to transact with their bank accounts, to transact with e-commerce platforms, to do basically anything, and the trillions and trillions of transactions going to need support. This is over. This game is fucking over. You have Donald Trump and an entire government getting behind this and putting their full weight behind supporting this on top of everything I just mentioned. I can't stress enough. In the last bull runs, what we consistently saw was Bitcoin make its first move and then ETH kind of chase it up a little bit and then ETH made its big move. But you have to understand, right here, all these big times we've seen ETH really move and altcoins start to move, there has never been a point where there was mass demand to use the product. It has all been speculation that there would be mass demand in the future to use the product. We are looking at mass demand right now. Every single big money player, every single government, every single platform or place where people transact is adopting DeFi right now. The game is fucking over. It's the only thing that matters right now. It's one. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a big thing. And normal people just don't know about it because they're fucking stupid. And like always, they're going to be late to the party and they're going to be buying this super late. If you mention anything I'm mentioning right now, people are going to roll your eyes. Go read the comment section of people that aren't really into crypto below this. This is what we talk about. Crypto's wrecked right now. This is the sentiment you see before the biggest runs happen. People hated crypto right here. People hated crypto right here. They hate it right now and they don't want it to pump. But these times right here, we are going into the strongest narrative and demand and speculation that's ever existed. Now, what happens in bull runs is first Bitcoin pumps, then Ethereum pumps, and then what happens is Ethereum pumps and it triggers the pumpage on all the coins right here. All right, Solana, Cardano, Sui. That's the rule on this channel. Whenever you say Sui, you have to pronounce it in a French accent because I have no idea how to pronounce this fucking coin. Sue! But besides that, we're done talking about Sue! There's all sorts of other coins like Chainlink, AVAX, whatever. It's going to make all these coins pump right here through mass speculation of people trying to catch the next Ethereum. And then what is going to happen is all the little micro-cap altcoins are going to pump. Now, BNB is not the perfect example of a small micro-cap coin, but what we saw last run is Ethereum around this time started moving. Once Ethereum started moving right here, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks after it made its big move, you saw BNB go and then and do these 30, 40, 50 X's. Now, I'm not saying we're going to catch the next BNB every single time in this video. In fact, there's a good chance you could, but it's going to be kind of a shotgun spread. So I really don't think we're going to put all of our money just on the perfect alt here. We're going to be spreading it around. With that in mind, everybody thinks altcoins and microcaps are super dead right now. We've technically just been in a bear market, and you can see these things don't really move until Ethereum moves. At this time right here, when it was not moving too much, Ethereum was putting in 2, 3 X's at the time. It will happen once the speculation on ETH starts to happen, because everybody's going to see Ethereum pumping. They're going to see all these IPOs coming. For example, you saw Circle's IPO, one of the best performing IPOs in maybe ever, but definitely the last decade. And so crypto is going to get just overheated with mainstream investing money. And so people are going to say, okay, it's disrupting everything. Everybody's adopted now. It's a thing. It's like AI. What's it going to disrupt next? And that is where we want to be at, because as soon as Ethereum pumps, people are going to get into all these coins right here. They're going to start seeing really good returns on these bigger cap altcoins. And they're going to think next, what is the next big thing? Where can I catch the next wave? And it's going to be in these micro-cap coins that we're about to talk about in this video. And the only thing that's going to stop this right now, the only thing that's going to delay it, this is not stopping at this point. The world is moving on the decentralized finance. It's done. It's done. I can't stress that enough. This is like the internet when every single company was starting to build websites after the dot-com boom. They were starting to build actual companies. They're starting to build things that people actually started to use. You start seeing people slowly start moving to Amazon. This is the point right before that happened. There isn't a chance in the next 5 years that we aren't all transacting in DeFi in some way. The stock transactions, home ownership isn't on decentralized finance. It just isn't happening. And the only thing that's going to delay this is World War III. I don't think World War III is going to happen. I'm not going to touch on that right now. I just don't think it's going to happen. And if it does happen, we're fucked anyways. So let's play in the casino right now. So what I want to do right now is I want to talk about these micro cap coins. I'm going to talk about these lower cap coins. I'm going to be going through a few niches that I think are going to absolutely explode. These are the most ripe for disruption. And our goal right here isn't to nail the perfect coin, not just pick one and it works. What we're going to try and do is spread out our money here so that we're able to catch a few of the runners. I think every coin in crypto is going to pump or do it very well. When we start moving, you're going to struggle once you get below the lower market caps to find a coin that hasn't 2, 3x. When we were in the last bull run, after ETH moved and after microcaps moved, everything did a 2, 3, 4, 5x. There's a few coins though that do 20, 30, 50 X's. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to find the coins that consistently outperform that 3, 5x that you usually see and then catch a few big runners. Now, a few of these coins as well that we go through, they're just going to tank. I have to be completely straightforward with you. When you're gambling with microcaps, which is what this is, please read the disclaimer again. I don't want to spend 5 minutes explaining in this video. Please read the disclaimer. I pointed out 5 times this video. I cannot stress, this is absolute reckless financial gambling. This is not investment advice. This is degeneracy. You are far more likely to lose money here than you are to make money. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek, like, you're far more likely to lose money, but really you're going to get fucking rich. No, I'm actually sitting here saying you're going to lose all your fucking money. Most people do in crypto, especially in their first few years. This is the equivalent to financial suicide. Read my disclaimer, please. I don't want to break it down anymore, but I'm definitely serious about it. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and catch a few big runners by spreading our money all out. It's too hard to predict which coins are going to win. And again, like I said, some of these are going to absolutely tank. When you dig around in microcaps, look, if you don't want to lose all your money or be exposed to big risk, stick to these top 25 coins right here. Create a portfolio with Solana, Cardano, Hyperliquid, AVAX, Monero, and you can literally call it a day right there. There you go. Congratulations, you're done. If you don't want coins that are not going to go to zero, there you go. But a few of these coins, I'm going to guarantee almost 10% of them probably going to crash or nuke out. Some of them are going to get hacked. Weird things are going to happen. I don't want to hear it when a certain percentage of these coins absolutely implodes. That's what we're playing in right here. We're playing in the dumpster. But on the flip side, a few of these coins, for example, like Destra, we caught this one way down here. This thing went and put in a nice 45. I don't even know what the X's were on this one. We made a lot of money on Destra. For example, Super in 2023, when I pointed out and I was mentioning those big gains, if we go look at Super in 2020, it was looking at like 7 cents, 8 cents right here. This thing shot all the way up to $1, $2 during the last mini bull that we just saw. I think Super is about to go $3, $4. That's not the point. The point is, what we're seeing right now is Bitcoin and ETH are moving while altcoins are just sitting at stupid lows. We're trying to come in right here and grab this. This is the situation we're seeing right here. And so when we grab a few of them, we're going to see some of them go. And I believe Super right here, it put in a good clean 20x for us. A lot of money made. This literally made me like 8 figures from a 7-figure investment. So like it did very well for us. And I think with Black Hole releasing and everything, we'll talk about Super here in a second. That's what we're trying to do here. So I want to start from the very top. So again, this video is about microcap. It's about the little dirty coins that you guys love to get into. If I had to mention any coins just off the top of my head, if we're building a big portfolio and I want like goodish returns, and I'm only going to tap on this for a second because I know you guys are interested in a responsible portfolio, but this is what I would suggest for almost 95% of people. I'd grab Solana, I'd grab Cardano, I think AVAX is going to have the hot hand. I would grab Sui, I would grab Hype, and I would call it a day right there. I would also grab Tensor. That's it. And maybe Pengu. Maybe Pengu, I think that's like the top meme coin in my portfolio by consistency. I think there's going to be meme coins that put in crazy serious numbers, crazy serious returns. They're so random and off the cuff that you can't really predict them. So we're not really going to be playing with meme coins in these videos. That's a wild, wild west casino that I don't think anybody can exactly call. I sure as hell can't. These utility coins are a little bit more predictable. As far as meme coins go, I think Pengu is the most predictable one that's going to do very well because it's a meme coin that's actually ran like Disney, like a giant company. So that's where I would start if I just have the big, juicy, safe portfolio. Now, when DeFi starts disrupting the world here in a little bit, the places where people are going to look to next for disruption or where the next big thing are simply going to be AI, RWA or real world assets. And there's going to be some MISC assets that kind of benefit from this. Also, privacy is going to be probably one of the hottest narratives because what people are going to quickly realize when they use crypto is everything's on chain. Making it private is going to be one of the biggest narratives, specifically making the decentralization parts of it private as well. For example, if you're running a node for an AI decentralized platform, you're basically providing the power from your computer. You're not going to want your identity and everything shown. You're not going to want to show the location, how much you're doing, all your stats and metrics, whatever. You're not going to want that shown. That's where stuff like anyone or chains like Privix are going to come into play. And so I think privacy and decentralization or DPIN is going to be hand in hand one of the biggest assets or narratives in the space because it goes strictly hand in hand with RWA, holding large real world assets, or AI, which is powering just about everything. So if we're going to create a little mini portfolio around that, here's where we start. Also, full disclaimer before we get going. Well, I don't own every single coin I'm going to talk about here. There's some coins I talk about that I think are going to do very well. I don't own them because I think I have similar coins that are going to perform just as well. But a lot of these coins I have massive bags in. Also, what I love to do is if I take a massive position in a coin, I like to reach out and offer them advisory and consulting. Because look at my channel. Look at my X. The last 10 years, all I've spent time doing is marketing and building software and tech companies. I know what the I'm doing when it comes to marketing technology, getting reach and getting exposure. So what I love to do when I advise a project is I like to reach out and offer consulting to them for money. I don't give people my time for free. And I like to help them with their marketing decisions and help them grow. Just like any good VC would do, just like any angel investor would do. So please, as I get into these coins right here, know that I own a lot of them. There are some of them that I literally partner with because I want my investments to grow. I want to be able to coach them to go further. If you don't like that, please don't buy the coins. Of course, I'm massively incented to want things I have big ownership in to want to go up. And people come to this channel, they hear what I like. Guess what? I invest in what I like. If you don't like that, there's so much tips and so much stuff laid on this channel to help you find your own coins. And like I said, there are going to be so many runners this run. This is not limited to these coins. This thought process I've given you in this video and the thought process I'm going to give you while I look at the coins, that's what's going to make coins winners and losers. And you can apply the same thing and go find your own coins. So with that being said, here is where I would be looking for like a top kind of Bitcoin bag that exposes me to all those spaces. So if I'm looking at AI, Where I'm going to start at is I think probably one of the bigger runners is going to be Destra. Now, this one's not going to be putting in a 50x from here, but I could expect a solid 5, 10, 15x out of Destra. I think this is perhaps one of the best narrative AI coins and has the best branding in the space. Now, if I'm getting into larger AI coins I would hop into, I'd also be going for AI's network. This thing has been a consistent performer since it released. It has a semi-large market cap, and it's actually a really well-ran AI company. And so I think as far as bigger AI coins go, I would go with AI's network as kind of like the top of the portfolio, then Destra. Then I'm not really going to talk about gaming too much in this video. I do think gaming is going to be one of the hotter narratives in about a year. I think everything we're seeing happening with real world assets is going to happen with video game assets. For example, if you look at Off the Grid and their use of AVAX chain, they're putting in record numbers of transactions on the AVAX chain, and people are buying assets for thousands, 2,000s. I don't know what the record is so far, I think $5,000 for a gun in Off the Grid. You're going to see it happening in every video game. You're going to see one of the biggest transaction generators and demand for these chains being video games. With that in mind, I think Superverse is the best gaming coin out there. I'm going to talk about gaming in other videos, but I would get Super as a staple because I think one, Super is just going back up to $2, $5 or $3, $4, no problem. But on top of that, people that have Super are also getting exposure to Black Hole, which I'm a founder of, full transparency. I own a very small proportion of Black Hole, but people that are in Super are also getting the airdrop of Black Hole, which I think is going to be one of the great new DEX technologies, and it's coming out on AVAX, which I think is going to have the hot hand. I'm going to talk about in future videos. I think Black Hole is going to do some stupid shit. But I think the fact that you can hold one of the best gaming coins and also hold one of the best upcoming DEXs, which do huge numbers and market caps and gains, I think that's a win-win. So I would grab Super. Then if I'm branching over to RWA assets, the best RWA or my favorite larger cap RWA coin right now, and I think RWA, I don't think they're going to hit the market caps that AI does, but they're at such low valuations right now that they'll provide the same X's, which is really, really cool. I think Clearpool is hands down one of the best leaders here. It ties so deeply into moving real world assets and RWA assets on chain. And as soon as BlackRock and the yellow ETF narrative and everything starts moving, and we start seeing a lot of assets start moving to on-chain use, explosion in these. And I think Clearpool is probably one of the better winners right there. On top of that, as far as RWA and tokenization of assets goes, for investment funds or whatever, ZigChain is absolutely fucking phenomenal at that. And I think there's two things I like about it. One, it's a full chain and technology all encompassed in one. Those usually result in crazy overvaluations in crypto. I think that's going to cause it to run. Also, it's perfectly positioned for these narratives in AI and RWA at the same time. So I think Zig is going to do stupid well as one of the bigger coins. Then finally, if I want some exposure to memeage, but like responsible memeage, it's Pudgy Penguins all day. I think the founder over there, Luca, probably one of the best founders, if not the best founder in crypto. He just runs such a tight ship. I'm very impressed with what he's done. He's got all the right things going, all the right momentum behind it. I think the fact that it's by far the most recognizable brand to normal people in crypto. Look, everybody knows what Ethereum is or whatever, but other than that, people don't recognize it. Everybody recognizes that damn penguin. That penguin is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when people think about something that's fun and friendly they're going to invest in, it's going to be Pudgy Penguins. So again, I think meme coins, people think I hate meme coins or something. No, I hate the people behind meme coins. Have you ever been in a meme coin community? Oh my God. It's like showing up to an orgy party, just people doing gross things, ready to get down and dirty, but they have the worst genetics you've ever seen. You just walk in there and like, hey, can I just go the garbage disposal? I would much prefer that. And just put some lipstick on it. I don't care. That's the type of vibes I get. And look, if you're a meme corner, I'm not meaning you any offense. The fact that I don't want to you, that shouldn't really mess up your life too much. Don't worry. I'm sure there's plenty of things coming on the AI front. You're going to get your micro peanut. It's going to get pleased either way. Don't worry about my opinion of you. It's fine. Continue what you're doing and be happy because like I said, I think meme coins are probably going to do those crazy storybook crypto gains. I just don't find them predictable enough to have interest in them. But as far as meme coins go, I think if we're looking for consistent, well-ran, actual projects that have a business behind the meme coins, Pudgy's Pengu is the one. It's simply the one. I also think Fartcoin is going to do numbers, but this is not my area of expertise. So let's not act like it is. So now what I want to break into is more the middle risk coins. And so I think these are coins that are going to do really good returns and they have lower downside. They've been around in crypto for a year or two, which means these things probably aren't going to ignite on fire in a big ball of fire. There are coins I will suggest in this video, I think that have a really hot hand right now and are at lower market caps that will give those 10, 20, 30 X's. But with those newer coins, I would say 25% of them they're just going to explode. And this is just like VC investing, where let's say 6 out of your 10 things that you invest in are going to do, 2 of them are going to explode, and 2 of them are going to just do crazy numbers, making an entire portfolio work out. That's the expectation you should have here when we get into these lower cap coins. It absolutely drives me wild when people invest in these lower cap coins when they just launch and a few of them explode and they're shocked by it. Like, what do you think is going to happen? This is the cesspool of investing, and you're investing in literally the most risky assets in the most dirtiest sector in investing there is. Let's come back to reality. If you don't like that in your coins, here are some really good suggestions. So Palm is actually one that's at a stupidly low market cap for the technology and everything behind it that it does. Palm has a very recognizable name in AI, and it also has massive broad application because of the revenue sharing that it helps generate with its tech. I think a $17 million market cap is ridiculously stupid for this coin. You can see last time it got up to a 100 mil market cap very easily. It's just a very everybody knows what Palm is, and I don't understand why it's here right now because they're consistently doing good work and consistently doing good things over there. So I really like Palm from this point. I thought it was at a much higher market cap than it currently is right now. That's technically just silly to me. I think that's an easy 5x right back to its old market cap. And if we run, I think that's an easy 10x on Palm. Another one that's kind of been forgotten. And so again, you have to understand the ones we're looking at right here, these are coins in AI that I think is going to be the most disruptive, pumpiest, utiliest sector that have the track record, that have the brand recognition that people recognize and are going to trust when the market starts to move. There's going to be a lot of little dirty, OnlyFans girl style coins that launch in this sector that you can get into. They're going to have crazy little pumps. But if you're looking for something that has a proven team and things behind it, GPU, just another one. I believe last market cap, it got up to about 200 million easy. Again, this is just silly, the market caps that some of these are at right now. And AI is all going to be running off of people's computers and the centralized sources to power just the AI and the thinking. It's like gasoline, essentially, and energy is the gasoline. You need stuff like GPU and everything to decentralize that. It's just not going to make sense otherwise. Again, AI crypto has probably one of the best use cases there is. Notice an example of a coin that has great crazy use cases that's sitting at a stupid low market cap. So again, that's another good one right there. One of the ones that I think is also at a dumb market cap that I think is going to be one of the most explosive runners is going to be Hash. I think actually out of these coins I mentioned right here, the one's probably going to do some of the best returns. It has just the hot hand whenever the market moves. It's Hash. Whenever the market starts to move, this thing usually does a 2-3x really easily. And that's just because it has the brand recognition and name, just like the other ones I mentioned. This one ties into Bitcoin mining. It's probably the best mining AI there is. Easy win. Another one that ties into AI and gaming that's at, again, goofy market cap compared to where it was previously. And that's the cool thing about these coins. Everybody is absolutely dead on crypto right now. These coins are sitting at their bare lows. That's what I have to stress right here. This is just like 2023 where people were just completely out of altcoins. They think the market's dead. This is where you want to be right now. We're going to see this type of movement in the future. If crypto moves at all, look, if World War III happens, Ethereum never moves, yeah, we're not going to see this. The end. We're fucked. That's just how it is. But if Ethereum moves like I think it's going to move, like everything is pushing that it's going to move, we're going to see this movement again on these things. And so these are just stupid buys. And they're all plugs into gaming, plugs into AI. They generate the models and assets for video games. Perfect combination, especially when gaming starts to run. Then, in my opinion, one of the easiest wins right here is, look, Tensor is going to keep running. This is the hottest big AI coin. The decentralized exchange on it, Taot, whenever Tensor does a 2x, Taot is going to do a 4x. So if you want exposure to Tau, you buy Taot because it's going to get better returns. It's just a little hack. This is the decentralized, like Uniswap on Tau. Tau is going to run really hard. The narrative is what's on Tau? What's the most important things on Tau? It's always the DEX. So the DEX is going to run super hard. Easy one right here at a $20 million market cap. This thing, I don't know what its past market cap was. It only peaked at 44 because it came out kind of late. But I mean, this thing's going to multiple $100 million market caps if Ethereum moves and then Tau starts to move. Now, what I want to talk about are some of the more risky coins that also have the hot hand and are going to move very hard if we start moving. So one of the coins I think has the hottest hand in AI right now and is one of the new additions to my portfolio, which is also at a silly low market cap, but I also think it has a really hot new coin. Like whenever you see new coins hit the market, there's some that just have like this kind of kind of vibe to them. Agents is definitely that. It's a layer that powers AI agents, which is going to be probably the most hypey narrative in all of tech, not just crypto. On top of that, one thing I want to point out is when I invest in microcaps and lower coins, look, I'm not saying every single one of these ones is going to build an Apple. I'm not sitting here even telling you that the tech and everything behind this is going to change the world. I don't care. I'm investing in narrative and hype. AI crypto is by far the strongest narrative and hype there will be in the space. And in these niches I'm about to talk about, there are some coins that just capture the attention of the crypto community way better than other ones. AVM has that attention right now. I think as soon as we start running, AVN is going to be one of the places that everybody starts to go look at. On top of that, there are some more riskier ones that are at very low market caps. And what happened at the end of the last little bull we had last year is we saw coins like Vertical, for example, launch, but they came out really late. Okay, December is about when the things were wrapping up and everything crashed, about right after Donald Trump got elected. And so these coins really never got a chance to prove themselves, but you can see their early movement right here. Vertical went from 0 to 100 mil market cap very, very quickly, and then went back down. And so what happened with a lot of these coins that I'm about to talk about right here is they got a really bad rap because of this, but the market momentum is what dragged them down. It wasn't like they were bad coins. If you look at this period right here, every single market or coin on the market dumped. And so of course, the lower cap altcoins that just released, that didn't have any history or anything, they dumped the hardest. Vertical AI is just fucking fantastic. The team's fantastic. Everything they've been doing and busting their butt recently, fantastic. Silly low market cap. I think we're returning right back up here. Another one that's been really overlooked is Parallel AI. Same exact thing happened with this coin that happened to Vertical. Now, I don't think this one even got it a little bit harder. You can see the market cap went up to some numbers, but it went down. Same exact story with Vertical. And so I think these ones right here, these are coins that not only have a little bit of history and track record behind them, but they also just got really dumped on for no reason other than they just came into the market late when they launched. Another one that I'm going to give you right now that people really have mixed feelings about, and I'm not going to hide that. A lot of people have a lot of problems with RAI. Again, what happened to RAI is it went up, got these really huge market caps, and it went back down again because of the market. And a lot of times people get really upset here and they really overplay FUD. Now, there's some controversy right here if the team's selling coins and whatnot. I talk to the team a lot. And trust me, I'm not going to go and just hold water for coins if their team is doing weird stuff. But I really didn't see the FUD behind this coin being as conspiracy theory bad as people saw. And so I dug really hard into RAI, and I'm not here to stick up for any team in particular. And my main thing is narrative. Okay, if a team is running a coin in a way that generates a bad narrative, you might as well be dumpster pooping anyways, because it's not going to help. I think the FUD on Reploy was overblown. And the reason why I like the coin right now is because overblown FUD can lead to some of the best returns in crypto. I can't tell you how many times people have told me a coin is dead or something's wrong with a coin, or because people are getting mad because they lost money on crypto Twitter, and then the coin comes back and puts in a 20x. And so the thing that I think is really inspiring about this coin, or makes me actually kind of like it, is the last time we saw the market start to move here recently, the thing went in and put in a 5x right here very quickly. I think it's going to do the same thing again. So look, I've talked to the team at RAI. I'm not sitting here telling you the team's perfect or anything like that. And from what I've seen from the talking to them and looking into it, it looks like everything is fine. But there's always times when these coins just hide something. So I'm not saying this is a foolproof point. What I am saying is when I look at tokens on the market, I like to see overplayed FUD. I've seen how powerfully this moved. Despite that, I think it's going to do the same exact type of movement again. That's what I'm looking for in a coin. So that's my thoughts on RAI. A lot of people have asked me about it, and I'm not referring to RAI in particular, but we're going to see a lot of coins absolutely go nuclear dumpster fire. We can see coins like Mantra, for example, went all the way from a $7 billion market cap to just zero, pretty much. Not zero, but I mean 300 million to 7 billion. That's pretty damn bad. You can see that in even the biggest coins. You must expect that in these coins. So don't expect anything I'm talking about here to come without risk. I like to take those little bit of risk. I like to see FUD on coins, and I like to gamble on that a little bit. Now, the next sector I want to talk about is kind of like MISC coins, like kind of general market coins. I usually don't like to invest in these, but there's a few that I think have a hot hand. And again, the way I'm suggesting this is we want to get mass exposure across all these. If you look at my portfolio, and again, what I'm doing here, I must stress, this is getting into like expert level territory. I don't claim to be the world's greatest trader or expert, but I know enough about every single one of these coins I mentioned to kind of keep it in my head and keep where its price is and keep up with it. If you're a beginner, stick to those top layer portfolios I mentioned. If this is your first week in crypto, stick to those top 10 coins I mentioned. If you've been doing this for a year and a half, stick to those higher cap coins in these markets I talked about. You have no business replicating what I'm doing here unless you've been doing this for a few years. But what I'm trying to do right here is you can see I have tons and tons of these smaller to mid cap coins because some of them are going to explode. Some of them are going to do pretty much what the rest of the market does. And a few of them are going to do 20, 30Xs and give you crazy returns. So like, for example, 50K in one of them is going to generate millions and millions of dollars. And in a bull run, all of these ones are going to consistently go up. Now, that's not me guaranteeing that this is going to happen. Again, I think this is a casino. I think we're betting on red or black here. If we lose about 50% of our money. If we win, we 5, 10, 15X our money. So that's a fantastic odds to be betting on. I have no idea whether this happens or not. I think it's completely up in the air. The world could take a very bad turn here and then we're fucked. But I don't think that's going to happen. And again, I just want to express the stress to you. So where I'm looking at, and I think one of the hottest hands in crypto right now is Gray. There's a little bit of controversy surrounding Gray right now. I talked to the team a lot, and I think it's kind of overblown like Gray. I think people are just really sour about how well this thing has moved. But with AVM, in terms of hotness, capturing the market attention, I think Gray is doing all the right moves right here. One, great technology because what they basically do, or the narrative behind it at least, is it eliminates slippage on smaller chains, which is huge because if you've ever traded anything that's on chain, you probably noticed that to sell out of it, for example, if you take a small coin, you try to sell $5,000 of it, you're probably going to be paying $500 in slippage, which is the gap between when the market's going up and down on it. So you have to make like more than a 10% even to break even on these coins. That's what Gradient fixes. On top of that, the thing I like about Gray is they've really nailed the marketing. What they've done on CT, you see Gray everywhere. This is because one, they are having a lot of KOLs go and share the coin. That's part of marketing. The best form of marketing in all of crypto is using KOLs. And a lot of people are sour on them for that. And I'm going to be straight up with you. I consult for Gradient. The second I invested in this and I saw the movement and I started making returns, I went out and said, I got to advise this coin. I think it's going to have the hot hand. So full transparency with you right there. I want Gradient to go up as well. But I think this one right here has the Gen Say Paula is referring to other coins. I think it's going to do really well. One that I think is very underplayed right now is CryptoTalk, because what we're seeing all across everywhere is people's DMs and all their privacy being leaked. This basically brings chat and encrypted chat to the chain. And I think this is going to, you're even seeing the problems with like Telegram now. It has to be decentralized. It can't be controlled by a company. This is what CryptoTalk does. And I think one of the most powerful narratives that's coming is privacy. And I think the market cap that CryptoTalk is at is absolutely stupid. All right. We can make like a 10X on this just if it goes to a 20 mil market cap. That's why I like that coin. And then another missed technology that I think is really undervalued right now is going to be Cedify. It's at a $51 million market cap. Whenever the market runs, they have access to the best IDOs and ICOs and early access coins, which is going to give them massive, 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 massive demand when a bull comes, particularly with their ability to get AI and gaming coin launches, which I think are going to be very, very big as well. I think Cedify consistently, when the market runs, this thing consistently goes to a $200 million, $400 million market cap. It always does it. I think it's going to do the same thing again. Cedify is a really easy pick and kind of like the general broad technology. Now, when it comes to another missed technology, it's technically AI, but I think Spectre is going to do very well as well because it kind of ties more into like tools you can use to read the market and applies it to that. And I think this kind of branches into what a lot of normies will be using. And so I think the app and everything that's going on in Spectre AI is also going to tie into that. It also has a really recognizable brand name. And if we've seen how it moved the last few months when it came out, you can see it came out late and it kind of has that same death kiss that Rye, Vertical, and all of them had. I think it's going to go right back up to where it was again, very, very easily. So I think we're just sitting at these easy snipe points on these coins that kind of got the poo-poo for no reason because they just came out at the top of the market. Easy wins right there as soon as we return to any type of momentum. Now, when it comes to RWA, one of my new favorite coins is going to be Yieldstone. It's very, very new coin that shot up to a 13 mil market cap. And so as far as RWA coins come, it's about taking real world assets and then putting it on chain. So the reason I love Yieldstone is I think one of the most powerful things in the future of blockchain is taking real estate and putting it on chain. This is what Yieldstone does 101. This is why I love Yieldstone. I think it's gonna be one of the top RWA coins. So this is a new one that just came out that a lot of people don't even know exists. And a lot of RWA coins, just people don't know they exist. I also think Pinlink, this thing went up to a huge market cap last one and kind of got capped by the market resetting. Pin is probably one of the better aggregators of all RWA assets in all of crypto. I think this thing is probably a multi-$100 million coin easily. It's just RWA and everything's down right now. And a lot of people don't understand RWA. They will here very soon. PIN is probably one of the top RWA coins. I love that with Yieldstone. And then to add to these narratives, I think the thing that kind of wraps up the unholy trifecta is going to be crypto autos, because it does what Yieldstone is essentially doing, but it does it for cars. So like, I want every asset to be on chain. Autos is the RWA asset for cars, and cars are one of the biggest, largest market cap assets, real world assets there is. So like, autos is such a no-brainer, and I don't get why it's at a $5 million market cap. That's goofy. The next and final narrative that I think is going to be gigantic is going to be dependent decentralization. So anyone is the most like underrated coin ever in the history of coins. It's up there with Chainlink. Okay, it's not up there with like Chainlink, but Chainlink is poo-pooed on when it has the most use cases in all of crypto. It's very frustrating to watch Chainlink always just never make any money whatsoever. Anyone is required for most of these AI coins, and that's it. Like, you need anyone. They have a little device that plugs in everything. When people are going to be, the way a lot of AI coins work is people are able to plug their computers into the internet or their power sources for AI or their processing sources, and then they're able to rent those processing sources or rent things. If you don't have these devices, you don't have anyone or anything, you basically just putting out a big giant sign about everything financially related to you. You have to have anyone to receive, to upload, to connect to these networks. It just powers all that. You have to have anyone. The end. Like, it's just goofy. This is why it's such a good coin. ZKML is also up there. This is like the goofiest. I don't understand why it's at 10 million. ZKML also plugs into like anyone and a lot of these other things when it comes to creating these depend situations. You have to have anyone. You have to have ZKML. These are multi-$100 million assets that no one understands. They will soon. They will very, very, very soon. And then one coin that I think just came out that really has what I consider the hot hand up there with Gray and ABM right now. It has that kind of like sexy new coin on the block kind of feel, is Privix. And you can see when this thing was just released, it just slingshot up, and everyone on CT and everything is talking about it. So Privix is an entire chain based around privacy. That is such a, because look, I'm over here making orgasm noises about it. Okay, without sexual noises aside, I love investing in full chains because they get much higher valuations. That's the narrative and how it works in crypto. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is. Privacy is going to be probably one of the hottest narratives. And I think what's going to happen is ETH is going to pump, DeFi is going to pump. People are going to think, what's next? They're obviously going to look at AI. AI is going to pump really hard to the point that privacy becomes a massive concern. DPIN and anonymous coins are going to pump very, very hard. And then RWA is going to piggyback on all of this based around BlackRock and everybody starting to move all assets onto chain. And so you put these three things together, and I think you have the nuclear bomb in a microcap portfolio. So if you look at my portfolio, it's across a lot of coins just like the ones I just covered. Because I think, again, when the market moves, everybody's going to see 3-5Xs on coins. Everybody is. The prices we're looking at on altcoins right now are stupid. Like, they are so underplayed. We are looking at one of the worst climates for microcap and altcoins ever. Bitcoin is sitting up here. ETH is moving. It's shown every inclination, all the big money in the world, and everything's going to drive it into like a massive over-demanded asset. And we're looking at altcoins and everything, and they have no movement, no investors whatsoever. If you look at normal investors, who are usually the people that get in the crypto, it's at the recordist lows ever. This is worse than the bear market. And we're seeing these prices while Bitcoin and ETH are showing these just almost assurities that they're about to start moving and they're about to change the entire world. This is something, we're on the cusp of mass adoption. Everything is pointing towards that. Every major company is pointing towards that. Every bank is pointing towards that. Every government is pointing towards that. I don't understand. You have never seen a setup like this ever in crypto. Never, ever, 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 ever. Last November, when we got in and made a ton of money, this stuff wasn't happening. It was all just kind of speculation that might happen. It is happening right now, and we are sitting at all these FUD things like World War III or whatever, while retail is the least interested they've ever been interested in over the last 5 years. This is the perfect setup. I can't picture a better setup to get into anything when the entire sector, the entire financial sector is moving towards this, when all the retail investors are completely asleep and then things are sitting at near their bear market lows. It's the literal definition of buying an undervalued asset when every single thing is pointing that it's not going to be undervalued for long. So I don't know 100% if it's going to happen, guys. Again, I'm gambling here, but I think it's a damn good fucking gamble. So this video has already gone long enough. I think I've given you the juice and the girth. The dirty coins. I mean, that was a list of dirty coins. That was a big one. So subscribe so you're able to get on my meme coin, and I don't got anything else. Goodbye.